It is Bruins Benders post-game live on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel with Matty and Smitty. Click subscribe. Get your Bruins Benders merch on InsideTheRink.com/Bruins-Benders. Follow us on social media at Bruins Benders. The Boston Bruins, they tried at the end to squeeze out a point, but thankfully they don't and lose 2-1 to Detroit. Detroit comes into the game 3-11 in the last 14. Almost just as bad as the Bruins. This was two bad hockey clubs playing a 2-1 hockey game that probably won't mean a hill of beans difference in about 2 weeks.
The only thing it means is that the Bruins are getting closer and closer every minute to getting a top 5 pick in the NHL draft, which is all anyone at this point in time should care about. Mm-hmm. Cam Talbot did the Bruins a favor by fucking robbing Casey Mittelstadt at the end with a glove save. Like that's a great save for the Bruins fans right there. That's a huge save. As much as Mittelstadt wants to score that, that is a big save. I mean, that could be the difference between picking, 8th and picking 5th or 4th. Who knows? But it ended up the way that it should have gone. Look, the Bruins played pretty good tonight. They played a pretty good road game, with the exception of Swayman letting that one in early and the pass by Lohrei. I mean, Jesus Christ,
bad.
The pass. But Swayman after that was pretty good. And the Bruins played a pretty good road game. They just can't. They don't have anybody on the team that can generate any offense outside of 2 guys. So
correct him, Mundo.
You're not going to score if. NHL hockey clubs can usually shut down, a couple of guys. I mean, if they just double team those guys or pay extra close attention, like the Bruins are going to be where they're at. Yeah. I mean, Pastrnak will score, on a power play or pick up a point on a power play now and then. Geekie will score a power play goal now and then. Mm-hmm. But, 5-on-5, they're absolutely junk. They're terrible. And there's this is what it's going to be the rest of the year. It's going to be maybe they score a goal or 2, maybe, and they'll lose the rest of the games.
Yeah. I mean, get your sips in there because you're going to need one. Ice cold water for Dan Maiden. It's summer in Australia.
Yeah, I have my sip tonight is Tito's and lemonade.
Tito's and lemonade. Oh, that's a good call. Huh? That's a good call as we get closer and closer to spring, hopefully here. It was 39 degrees in Boston and 80 in New York City. Did you see that today?
Yeah.
It was this weird cold front thing.
Fucking
what
bullshit.
The fuck?
Just
Seriously.
Bullshit. Oh, I mean, I tell you what, if Boston isn't the depths of hell, I don't know what is.
I don't know what it is. I'm searching, but I can't find it.
I mean, for fuck's sake, like there's just a dark cloud over us.
There is.
All times,
right now there is.
Especially in the winter time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Michigan Mike, his sip tonight is blackened like our hearts by Wes Henderson, who founded Angel Envy. Hey, it's 116 proof.
Yeah,
check that bad boy
here on your chest.
Oh yeah,
that'll
sure.
Black Hole Sun, Soundgarden song.
Black Hole Sun. Yes. Tonight's sip is syrup of ipecac. Says Fox Guy.
Adrian's going old fashioned in a Benders Rocks glass.
Oh, God, Adrian,
we need you to put a picture of that up.
Yeah,
How do we do that? I don't know if you can do that in the YouTube comments.
Can't do that here, but you can send it to our Twitter.
Yeah, send it to the Twitter or send it to our Facebook. We have a Facebook too.
On it. Yeah.
Throw it on one of those things. We like to see the people enjoying the
thing. Throw a hashtag what's your sip.
Yeah.
Hashtag get bent or whatever and tag us. And,
sure. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it.
Yeah. Bacardi and Coke for Bruins 1970. An oldie but a goodie.
That's a staple. Speaking of old fashions, Adrian had one. I had a brown butter old fashioned earlier tonight when I was out at dinner. It was delicious. Fantastic.
Brown butter old fashioned.
Brown buttered bourbon. So it's like a buttery brown sugar bourbon deal.
Yeah.
So fucking good. John
Have you
Tapper.
done the smoked yet? Have you let the shit on fire at the restaurant yet? Or
I told you I did that at the fucking when I was in when I went on the cruise with my family.
You went on the cruise, that's right.
Christmas cruise. I did the smoked old fashioned. It tastes like a campfire.
Did
it was cool as hell, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I did it. But I'll never order another one.
Okay.
It literally tasted like
You sucked in
like
the
burning
fire.
wood chips.
Yeah.
It tasted like burning wood chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you sit by the fire and the wind
Yes.
blows and it
Gets in your mouth. Sure. Yeah. That's what it tasted like. With a little bourbon kick to it.
How would anybody like that? I don't know.
I mean, it gives, like, if people like the smoky flavor, like, it's smoky as fuck.
Mm.
Sorry, John, but it is.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah. Matthew Curtis is smoking crack cocaine, watching this shit. Probably want to melt that down and sip it.
Yeah.
Hammering the Irish car bombs. I'm all about
Matthew,
Irish
turn the crack cocaine into a sip somehow.
Yeah.
Can you?
Get that in liquid form. Yeah. So the Brewers lose tonight.
Put it in a needle, inject it into some kind of a drink, and do it that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Mason Lohrei and his minus 34? Let's discuss that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's
incredible.
He's winning the Masters at this point, isn't he?
Oh my God.
Is he top of the league in that category?
No, they said he was among the leaders.
He's among the leaders, but not in the league.
There must be Chicago and San Jose teams, players that must be higher than that. If I can tell.
Really?
Or Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got a goal differential that's not great either.
I mean, Boston's in the fucking neighborhood. I mean, there are a couple of teams that are like minus 70 or close to it, I think, but Boston's like minus 40 something now, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the plus minus stats right now.
I need to hear it.
Or let's see, player stats. Of course, you got to drill
I've
down.
got you covered.
Okay.
Mason Lohrei is in the top 5.
Top 5.
Tyler Bertuzzi leads the league at a dash 37. Connor Bedard at dash 37.
There you go.
San Jose Sharks legend Barclay Goodrow dash 33. So he will be passed tonight, assuming Lohrei wasn't on the ice for the only goal.
Right.
Prior to tonight's game, Lohrei was at 4 at dash 33.
Okay. So he's at 34 now, probably.
So he's third in the league.
Third in the league.
So fourth in the league. Fourth. Two guys at dash 37 and one guy at dash 36. Right? Or no? Was Berkeley?
No. Goudreau and him are both tied at 33.
Tied.
So assuming that the 34 keep it
so he's in third. He's in third by himself now.
Yeah. Yes. Well, great. So there you go.
Got an outside shot at the title with the way the Bruins are playing. I mean, it's not like they're going to score goals. So
no, they're not. He's going to give them up too. He's going to pass the other team again this year, I'm sure.
There is only one other current Boston Bruins player that is in the top 30 along with him. Can you guess which player that is?
In his top 30 with him?
Yes. Well, in the top 30 being the shittiest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Current Bruins player or not someone they traded?
Currently on the roster.
Okay. I'm going to say
guesses in the chat.
Zacha. Beecher. Beach.
You can't just poach them. You chose Zacha. Smitty,
I just said Zacha. Yeah.
My guess, I don't think Wotherspoon's played enough games.
Yeah.
I don't think Peake's been pretty steady. Zadorov's been pretty steady.
Yeah.
I think it's
Jeremy Swayman at dash 163 is
yeah.
Geez, I can't even think of who else is on the fucking team. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a regular, like
Lindholm or Zacha.
Yeah, Elias Lindholm. I'll go with Elias Lindholm. What the fuck?
Well, it is my grave unpleasure to say that you are both wrong. It is my friend and yours, Casey Mittelstadt.
Oh, well, he wasn't on the Bruins. He wasn't on the Bruins that whole time.
He's dash 23.
I said current Bruins roster.
Yeah,
but he's the only other Bruin in the top 30.
That doesn't count.
Okay. Well, look, it's just bad all around. Lohrei. So Geekie, let's talk about Morgan Geekie real quick before we get to fan comments. 27 goals. He has a really good chance at 30.
Yes.
30 goal season. Sweeney comes out and says that they're pretty much confident they'll get a deal done, which leads me to believe that they're going to give him a multi-year deal. They're going to offer him a 3 to 4 year deal.
I would agree. Usually when Sweeney comes out in the media and says that he believes they'll get a deal done, they usually do.
Yeah.
Usually
Never said it with Marchand.
No, he didn't.
Said it. Nope.
And he did say it was Swayman.
He did.
It took some time and it was a holdout, but they did eventually get it done. So it seems to me that they'll work on it until they two sides come to a number that they can both agree with, and they'll get the thing done. So
sure.
I mean, I guess that's good news. I guess we'll see what the number is, and then maybe we'll decide whether it's good news or not. But I mean, the guy has 27 goals, and that's nothing to sneeze at, because you certainly need goal scorers on this team, whether he plays with Pastrnak or doesn't. You know, you need guys to score. And he's one of you right now on the team that can do that thing.
Right. And it leads me to comment from Macaulay Martin here. That is a good point. And it's something that I wanted to bring up tonight. Do either of you fellas have any faith in some of these guys riding the ship next year and getting it right? Or does the way the team is playing now worry you for next year? The only way they can get better, really, is if guys play better than they did this year. Like, they need a half dozen guys to really improve next year to have any chance at being any good next year. Like, they can't completely right the ship unless current players play better. So that's what Swayman has to be better, number one. And then the guys like Lindholm and Zacha, those guys have to be better, number two. And then Hampus Lindholm has to be healthy. And McAvoy has to be healthy. And if all those things happen, then they have a decent chance of making the playoffs next year. But their number one thing is not signing guys and potentially trading a guy or anything of that. It's your current players have got to be better than they were this year. That's the only fighting chance they have. Yeah,
and it starts with the goaltender. 100% starts with the goaltender. If he's going to have the worst season of his career after he signs a 8-year extension, worst goals against, worst save percentage of his career, then, if that shit continues, you're sunk. You gotta get rid of him. You gotta ship him out. But after next year, and next year they should play him 60 odd games. And if he's terrible again, he's terrible again. And I think you bring back Joe Sacco and you just tank as much as you can for Gavin McKenna. Bring back Joe Sacco and let him lose 60 games and just be bad.
And that's something that I didn't think of until I heard Ray Ferraro say that. Neely said that Joe Sacco is going to be in the mix. And then when he said that, I immediately thought, wait a minute, I've been thinking of this all wrong. Like, bring Sacco back next year.
Yeah.
And don't waste a new coach on a roster that's not going to be good enough.
No, ML Carr the fuck out of this thing. Like, have a guy in place who's just going to run it back with the same bullshit systems. Yeah. Bring all the same guys back and let them just tank the fucking thing. Just let them be awful at their jobs for one more year. And then you can get Gavin McKenna. You fucking clean house and you start fresh with a new coach with a budding potential superstar. And you have Pastrnak and McAvoy and whatever. And you hope Swayman rebounds. And then, you should be able to sign free agents. Your team should be attractive as an original 6 team with salary cap space and Pastrnak and McKenna, and, maybe you can turn that thing around then in a couple years or 3 years, if you get a top 6 forward out of this draft and then you get McKenna next year, then your top 6 looks a lot better all of a sudden. And your defense should be pretty good. I mean, you do need to add there probably, to fill a spot for Yoki Haru and possibly, a guy like Peeke. Wotherspoon's going to leave, so you're going to need a depth guy. But you might have the pieces in place in 2 years to make a push for the playoffs again.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I had it all wrong. I thought, go out, get this guy, and get a new coach, pick the right coach. But now I'm thinking, I don't think you're going to be that much better next year. And I think that you give Sacco another year. You consider it.
I think you consider it. and maybe, maybe you don't go out this year with all that money and try to sign, a Marner or an Ehlers or somebody, and you try to suck one more year, get another draft pick, and maybe in 2 years, when Eichel's a free agent, you make a huge run at him. You try to lure him home with, whatever, the captaincy, and who the fuck knows? I don't care. Give him 15 million.
Right.
I mean, and just try to bring him in, and then maybe you do that, and you can move forward there with some good pieces in the top 6.
Craig Lalive got schooner snips here. He's getting snipped on a schooner in Halifax, Nova Scotia. No, he's got the schooner sips. Huh.
Schooner is a beer, I believe.
Is it? Halifax, Nova Scotia. That's Marchand and Crosby and McKinnon, right? Out there in Nova Scotia.
I think Crosby's from Cole Harbor. I think McKinnon's from Halifax, and I don't know where Marchand's from.
Right.
But I don't.
Yeah. So Khustnidinov, Matthew Curtis says Khustnidinov, Lysell, and Jokiharju are not making a case for staying with his team. And I really have concerns about Lysell. And it's just with Lysell, I don't think he's a dirty area guy. I don't think he's going to be the type of guy they like on the team. I don't, there were times tonight, doesn't win a lot of puck battles. I just don't know if he's, talented enough to play the way he plays, to be quite honest with you. I think he plays a certain style.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure it's NHL quality, top 6 talent enough to play that style.
I know what you mean. He doesn't have the production to warrant
the one-on-one and
play the way he does, where he kind of stays out of the fray. And
right.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit higher on him than you, and certainly Connor is. But it's just in comparison to what the rest of the team is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at him, and then I look at other guys on the team, and I say, yeah, he's better than half the guys on the team right now.
Sure.
But in the grand scheme of things, for a really good team, is he going to crack your lineup in the top 6? It doesn't appear that way to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he could make your team next year, and you could put him in the top 6 and let him play power play. And probably
while you're bad, right?
Points or something,
right?
He'll probably have 10 goals and 20 assists or something like that, and that'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you actually get some real talent in here, he should go, and maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe he hangs around for a year, he produces a little bit, and then you try to include him in a deal for someone else.
Sure.
Or trade him for a draft pick, or whatever the case is. Because he does have some speed, he does have some hands, but he just doesn't produce. So, but like I said, maybe you let him hang around a little bit, while the team's bad, and you can up his value and then move on from him.
Right. Couple of fights early, and Andrew Peeke was one. Jacob Jones says Peeke laughing at a guy half his size and gets his ass kicked. I thought Peeke did okay. I thought he did okay. He did better than Lauko.
I mean, Peeke is what, 6'3"? Fucking Alex DeBrink is 5'8".
He's one of the smallest players in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. 5'8". And he got his ass kicked.
It was a draw. It was like a lean to brink it. Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of laughing at him at first, and I don't think he should have been laughing, because
you got to be careful. Yeah,
it didn't end so well for him.
No, you got to be careful.
The Lauko and Austin Watson thing. I don't know. Lauko's given up a lot lot height.
Well, he is, and Watson's fucking Oglethorpe. He's a fucking lunatic. I mean, you saw it on the bench. He's just fucking maniacal. He's not a hockey player. He's an old school fucking goon, chirping and yelling at the refs and everybody else. And he's on fire. Even McClellan was like, this guy is high energy all the time, which means that he needs to calm the fuck down, is what it means. And
yes and no. I mean, you kind of want a guy like that that's high energy all the time when it comes to playoffs, it comes to getting your team kind of amped and ready to go. If he's that way, I think he kind of pulls your team into it to a certain degree. Like the Bruins could use more guys like that.
They could use a hammerhead.
All the time,
especially now where they're bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like
that psychopath was in the box jamming to the music. He was in between play, having a great time in the penalty box.
He just doesn't give a fuck. And then as Bruins 1970 says, he basically didn't smell the ice after that. He didn't play much at all after that. But he was out there to do one thing, and that's to stir the fucking thing up and try to light a spark under them. And it was enough to get the win. They score early on that fucking terrible play and terrible goal allowed. That's bad defenseman play, bad goalie play, and you're down 1-0. And then Swayman, I thought, was fine and even pretty good after that.
Hey, it's pretty good.
But Jesus, stop giving that shit up.
Somebody asked me on Twitter, it seemed like they've scored, low to his glove and low to his blocker a lot. And he's like, why is that going in every time? And I said, once they get a book on you, they're going to shoot there until you show them you can save it. And he hasn't shown them that he can save it.
Why? You know why? I think he goes to his knees very early. And when you go to your knees, you can't get your legs out wide enough. So if they're going low blocker, he goes to his knees real quick. So if he's on his feet and he can kick save those things out, I think it's a better chance of saving those low shots, either blocker or glove. But he goes down to his knees quite a bit and pretty early.
That was his thing early on, is he dropped down into the butterfly too quickly and left.
Quick. And I think that happened on that goal, I think.
It used to be high on him, like top corners, between the glove and the ear. But it seems now that they found a spot on him that he has trouble with. And, they're going to keep shooting there until he proves he can save it. So, he's got work to do, certainly. And hopefully it's not one of those situations where they get a book on the goalie and he can never fix that. He can never make the adjustment, because it's happened to other guys. And hopefully it's not happening to him, because, 8 years at 8.25 is going to hurt a lot. If you have a goalie that can't make saves.
I hear you. I mean, it's just, you're right. Look, he's making 8.25. Average goaltenders, they'll probably let that in. You can't be an average goaltender. They're paying you too much. You've got to be better.
Yeah, you're getting paid like a top 5 goalie in the league. He's nowhere near the top 5. He's towards the bottom of the league.
Nowhere near it.
Like you said, if you want this team to be any good next year at all, you need, rebound seasons from most of your roster, not just a few guys. Everybody had down years this year, and you need a bunch of those guys to rebound. Pavel Zacha to rebound. Elias Lindholm, they said it was his lowest point total this year so far. It's his lowest point total since his rookie year, and you paid him almost $8 million a year. Yeah. Nikita Zadorov has 17 points. You paid him $5 million. Brandon Kylo is getting paid less than that. I mean, sure, Zadorov gives you the physicality, and he might be great in the playoffs. Probably would be, but can you get there? You're not going to
get there.
Can you get there? Yeah, doesn't look like it. So, that's a lot of money that you shelled out in 3 guys who have all been huge disappointments as far as production. Zadorov, might be kind of moving into a leadership role. The physicality is certainly good. Elias Lindholm's good on faceoffs and is a little more feisty and physical than you would hope, than you expected. Not would hope, but than you expected. But the offensive production needs to be triple what he's giving you right now, and it just won't be. It just won't be. So that's a huge overpay, and you're going to be trying to get out from underneath that thing in a couple years.
What were your thoughts on the late hit by Nikita Zadorov?
Well, I loved it.
I did too. And I honestly, I didn't think it was that bad of a hit. I thought the guy literally threw himself into the boards. When I watched it again, he gave him a shove, but Jesus, the guy just fucking,
I think,
acted like he was thrown off a cliff.
I think he eased up. I think he didn't think he was going to get hit, and he kind of eased up.
Yeah.
And I didn't think the hit was late, but it wasn't egregious. It wasn't it was a beat and a half late. Like it wasn't super late. It was late, but it wasn't super late.
Yeah, it's like an I'm here kind of
yeah.
hit.
And the guy eased up.
Yeah, he did.
So, I mean, whatever. But I didn't hate it. And look, that's what you want from Zadorov.
Yeah, that's what he has to bring you.
Especially when you're not going to go anywhere. Like, make people aware that you're out on the ice. Like, people shouldn't, like, that's what Tom Wilson would do. And everybody can shit on Tom Wilson all they want. But I tell you, it makes a difference when you know Tom Wilson is out there on the ice with you. You realize it. You know, you'll get rid of the puck a little quicker. Maybe you turn the puck over. I mean, there's certain things that an intimidation that he provides that Zadorov can provide. Mm-hmm. And you need him to do that. Like, why are you paying him if he's not going to do shit like that? That's the exact reason he's on the fucking team. Right. Sorry, John, but it is.
Yeah. Bruins 0-7-1 in the last 8. This is the longest streak since March of 1997. And that was the end of the year right before they drafted Thornton and Samsonov, first and 8th in the draft. This is the third longest streak in their franchise in 101 years. 25 or fewer shots on goal in 10 straight games. Since the NHL started recording shots in 59-60, only 10 other teams have had such a streak. The last one was Edmonton in 06-07. So it's been 18 years since a team has done this with 25 or fewer shots on goal in 10 straight games. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how anemic they are on offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's to the point where you just don't expect them to score more than one.
You don't. Goals. And again, there's 12 guys on the team. As soon as they get the puck, you might as well just flip the channel or go to the bathroom. Or they're never going to generate a goal.
I mean, you could sit on the toilet for like 50 minutes of this game and have a better time.
Yes,
shitting than watching the Bruins play.
Yeah, you know, don't underestimate a good shit. You know what I mean? Like a good 50-minute shit. You know, goes a long way. Especially in the old days, we had like the Sunday sports section, and you were in there for a while. You know what I mean?
Little me time, little you time.
Yeah, little me time. Yeah, that's all. You know, after a Saturday night out, Sunday morning, you grab the paper, you're reading Peter Gammons and fucking Kevin Paul DuPont, and you're on the hopper for a while. You know what I mean? Like for a while until your mother like raps on the door, like, can somebody else get in there? It's, you know, we only had one bathroom, so it was rough, but yeah. So that's, you know, hey, it's just not entertaining hockey. It wasn't before the trades, and it isn't sure as shit isn't now. No, at all. And there's some guys out there that, you know, you just wonder who they're going to go with. You know, there's guys out there like Mitchell and Wotherspoon tonight. I mean, those guys are going to be back. I mean, I don't think you bring Wotherspoon back.
No, you're not going to.
You know, I don't think you're bringing Ian Mitchell back.
No.
I mean, just go with, you know, Brunet and Edward. Give them a shot at being depth defensemen. You know
That's what I'm saying.
Give them a shot next year.
He picked up the right shot kid from Edmonton too.
Yeah,
one of their prospects. So there's another guy, Max Wanner, that could possibly be your depth guy.
Yeah.
You know, so. You know, I think that's from those other guys. I mean, I think that's the route they go next year. Certainly, it should be the route they go next year. They should go super young. Mm-hmm. They should try out a bunch of their Providence guys. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't be looking to sign any, you know, third, fourth line players.
No,
you go with what you have in house.
Yeah.
And you see what you have in some of those guys, and maybe somebody surprises you. You know, maybe O'Reilly Durant surprises you. He's had a pretty good year in Providence now. I think he just surpassed Johnny Beecher's career high in goals the other night. He's got 10 or 11 already.
He does.
So
he does.
I mean, that's a guy who maybe could come up to Boston and give you what Johnny Beecher's giving you, which is nothing. At all. Maybe he'll give you a little offense.
Yeah.
Johnny Beecher made a great play tonight until he got to the net, and then it was typical Johnny Beecher. Picks the puck up in his own zone, a little self pass off the board, speed to the outside, takes it to the net, has a step on the defenseman, cuts to the middle a little bit to try to put it on his forehand, and loses the puck in the left wing corner.
Every time.
That's him in a nutshell.
Every time. I've seen that video over and over.
It's like the tease, and then he leaves the blue balls right at the end.
It's prom night and it's prom night at 11 p.m. with Johnny Beecher. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's,
and then you're just starting to get your jeans unzipped, and somebody turns the fucking lights on. That's what happens.
It's an Animal House when you go under her bra and it's fucking napkins comes out of her bra. She fucking stuffed the bra. That's what Johnny Beecher is. Stuff the bra guy. That's what he is. I'm going to call him Stuff the Bra. I'm not calling him Beecher anymore.
I will say that I wrote down.
Can we call him like A cups? Can we call him
cups? No, you guys gave him a
to A cups.
You gave him a nickname earlier this year. I found a notebook with a bunch of nicknames you guys created, and you called him Money Shot.
Money. Oh, Jesus. But the problem is there's no Money Shot.
No.
There isn't Money Shot at all.
No, it's shooting blanks.
No, it's E cup to A cup is what it is. It's hide the snake. I don't know. He's just not getting it done. It's just zipper your nutsack right into your jeans.
Oh my God, that's what it is.
That's what he is.
It's zipping up your nutsack after you finish taking a piss. That's what he is.
Yeah. He gets you there, and then
the zipper.
Yeah, that's who he is. Christy DeLisi, do y'all think Marchand resigns back with the Bruins this summer, or has that ship sailed? It is so far into the fucking Atlantic Ocean that you can't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's so far away. That's not going to happen. He's going to sign a 1-day deal 3 or 4 years from now to retire a Bruin. They'll have some Fakakta ceremony for him against a bad team so they can sell some tickets and some fucking concessions. And that's going to be it. That's going to be it. And 63 is going to go up in the rafter probably too at some point. And they'll make nice. But right now, no way. He's going to go somewhere in the Atlantic, Toronto, Montreal, stay in Florida. I don't know. Somewhere in the Atlantic Division, I think.
If he has fun playing in Florida with a bunch of good players, like, I could see him staying there for less money too.
Yes, I could. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he would take a discount to stay there and play with those guys if they have some chemistry and do pretty well. And look, he made a great pass from behind the net to set Bennett up for the overtime winner in his first game. So, that's going to be fun pretty quick there. I could see him staying. Yeah, I could see him staying in Florida. If things go well down there.
They threw rats on the ice. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the whole thing there. They're going to be the lovable little ball of hate.
Yeah.
Did you see his comments about the rats?
Yeah, he said it was Kachuk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to start to befriend those guys, and he's going to fit right in. Yeah. I mean, he's just too much of an asshole as those guys are, so they'll all fit in together. And that'd be great. I think you'll see if I had to guess right now, I think you'll see a 2-year deal with them in the off season. 2 times 7 or 2 times 7. Let's say 2 for 7, 2 for 14, 2 for 15, something like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
So.
I could see that. Sure. So.
Yeah. Bettman should lube up the lottery for us because we traded him to Florida. That line will create hockey fans. I just have this. That's the only problem with the whole drafting thing is I really have a bad feeling that the Bruins wouldn't get the number 1 pick anyway, and that's my concern with it. But hey, definitely get a couple of top 5 picks the next 2 years. And get a couple more legitimate prospects to go with Minton and some of the guys you picked up. Maybe Zellers is decent. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you have a prospect pool there and a crop that's pretty good. Like, don't get fooled by the Ryan Walshes and the Dan Zluck-Mellises of the world who scored today and are playing great in the NCAA tournament, but that doesn't make them great prospects. They're still really the kind of lower level prospects. So as far as the NHL is concerned. So they really need legitimate ones, And as John Brown says, Lysell, not much of a prospect. I question whether or not he's really that much of a prospect anymore. Merkulov is not a prospect anymore. I think you should take him right off the thing. He's going to be 25 in the summer. You don't even know he's going to re-sign here.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not part of the thing. Like you're talking about Chris Pelosi to start your prospect pool now. Dean Letourneau. That's not great, and that's a few years away, if at all. So
more than a few years. I mean, those guys
kids may never play in the NHL.
They're both freshmen, so they have at least one more year in NCAA, and that's if they break out and have great years.
Right.
Probably at least 2 years there.
Right.
And then probably a year in the AHL before they make it to the Bruins, if they do. So you're talking at least 3 years probably before either one of those guys sees the light of day in Boston.
Yeah. I tell you, Zach Hayes says, I'm worried if we won the lottery, Sweens would take Hagens over Misa. I'm really concerned they're going to take Hagens, and he's going to be Zach Hamill. He's going to be a complete fucking bust.
I don't think he'll be a complete bust. I think he'll be a decent NHL player.
Okay.
Not a guy that you want at
like middle six
or wherever they pick. Yeah. You don't want a guy at 5 that's decent. It's like
Zacha 2.0.
Yeah. You're gonna get a guy who's like 50 to 60 points, and or you know what's gonna be? It's gonna be Matty Beniers.
Yeah,
what it's gonna be? It's gonna be a guy who's like, showing great flashes, and then just kind of is there, and he's good. He's fine. He's not a guy you build your team around. But he's fine. He'll be a good player, but he's not going to be a dynamic impact player. He'll be a good player.
Yeah, true. I mean, Beniers this year 18, 23, 41. So 41 points and 73. Yeah, so that's Zacha-ish.
That's not what you want.
He had 37 last year. The first full year, he had 57. So he's trending. He had 24 goals.
Right.
But then 15 and 22, 18 and 23. Like just not enough. Like just like you said, decent player.
Decent player, but just won't. It's not going to like get anybody excited about the Bruins or So I think I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, could be totally wrong. Maybe he'll be great. I mean, he was projected going into the year as possibly the top pick, but it's fallen off a little bit. I just that's what my fear is he'll be good, but not anything to write home about, and then he'll end up with Boston. Yeah.
Dan Maynard says, when do we get word on postseason Benders content? Is it a Patreon situation? No, it's a YouTube like subscription type of thing, somewhere around a few bucks a month.
Yeah. So that'll probably be. I'm not sure when we're going to announce it. I
think we might have a launch party like the week after the season ends, like on here, like a YouTube live.
We'll certainly be letting you guys know well ahead of time, and that'll be through the Inside the Rink website. So you have to go there to get the content, and it will lead you to
How about this?
Here we go.
Since you guys were rounding the wagons a little bit here and floundering, I'll help you out. We will make an official announcement on the Benders episode the week of April 9th and have full details, cost, where to go, and what to do the week of the April 9th episode.
Perfect.
Well, there you go. Now
there it is, right from the horse's mouth.
And that's our regular episode. So you can find that on YouTube. You can find that on Spotify, on Apple, on all the podcasting places. Good pods. I don't know. All over the place.
And here's the thing. We just dropped an episode recently, a couple of days ago, right? Or yesterday morning. I don't know. It was on. It went on there today on YouTube, our most recent episode. So go ahead and watch that. That'd be great too.
Yeah.
That's the newest episode. Is Sway a Diva? It is called.
Yes.
I think you know the answer to that one.
I think we do.
The defenseman Schaefer will go first. Misa second, says Bruce Bridger. Okay. The Bruins are going to get no better than fourth, in my opinion. Like right around there. As far as draft positioning.
Here's what
Yeah,
I mean, you can keep going.
Because Nashville is, I don't know, 5 points behind you or whatever it is. I mean, you might get to a third position, which is the best anybody can do because Chicago and San Jose are terrible. So The
Well-
third is the best.
Well, but you can get there, but you have better chance. Now you can win the lottery, though.
Yeah, you could win the lottery, but the likelihood is still,
Yeah, it's
not
still
great.
small, but if you can get into the top 5, finished with one of the top 5 worst records, you got a chance. You got a chance to get into, there you go.
Yeah.
Here's the percentages. If you just look at the far right selection here, if the Bruins are at 4, they have a 9.5% chance to get the number 1 overall pick.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
the
if they're at
worst
4,
So if you're at 4, and the worst you can do is get to 6th, right? The worst you can do is drop 2 spots, I believe.
right.
So
I think that's true.
they could win it, and they could drop to 6th if they get to 4th. But
Yeah.
that'll give them a chance to get up into the top 2. Maybe they get Misa. Hell, if they get the number 1 and it's Schaefer and he is head and shoulders above everybody else, even though you don't necessarily need defensemen, you take the best fucking player available because your team sucks.
Mhm.
So you take the best player, or you try to
best
trade out of that
guy.
thing. You trade
best
out of
guy.
that thing if somebody wants Schaefer, and you get an extra first.
The best guy in Central Scouting.
Yeah.
Like the best guy there.
I mean, I'm
Best.
still that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep track of that shit.
Don't reach. Don't try to be cute like you can't.
Nope.
You don't have a 65 win team to be cute in the draft right now. You need to get the right guy, and it's the best available guy. And you could use a defenseman or a forward. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
You need everything.
Best available.
So pick the best guy.
Mhm.
That's all. That's all. So if they get to 4th, they can do no worse than 6th. 6th is a pretty good player. 4th is a better player because from all accounts, the scouts kind of say that this is a 1 through 4, then a 5 through 7, then kind of everybody else kind of draft. So
yeah, 1
there's
through
like
4, 5 to
guys.
7, and then it's like a 8 to 12, and
8
then
to 12,
and then it's like a 13 to 25.
Yeah.
Something.
So 1 to 4. So if you can get to 4,
Yep.
then that would be fantastic.
I mean, just go by the fucking Central Scouting rankings.
Let's do it. Just do it.
I mean,
Just do it. Try
we're
that.
going to keep track. We will.
We are.
We're
We're going to keep track.
We're going to
Yeah,
keep track.
inside the rink's going to rank the draft prospects.
Yep.
There's going to be draft profiles on there. We're going to take all those guys in that window,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to be like, here are the guys. If they don't take one of these guys, we're going to mutiny.
Yeah.
It's going to be the fucking Chicago Blackhawks podcast next year. If they take the 20th best skater, I'm going to lose my mind.
We're not. We can't do Chicago Blackhawks fucking content. I'm not doing that.
Right. No. I'm going to retire.
Wherever Marchand goes, we'll be the podcast.
Yeah, wherever Marchand goes. Yeah. It'll be the Le Habitant podcast next year.
Maybe it'll be Montreal.
Best winger in the draft, says Zach Haste, is Martone. I don't care. He sounds Italian. I don't know.
I'm fine with him. I'm fine with.
I think
McLean.
there was a restaurant called Martone's.
I'm fine with Desnoyers. I'm fine with O'Brien. There's like a pretty good top, 8-ish. It's except for Hagens because he scares the bejesus out of me. So any of the other top 8 guys besides Hagens, and I'm in. I'm happy. I'm fine. Great. Good.
Yeah.
Great. Grand.
Yeah.
No yelling on the bus.
Yeah. Craig Elias says the last thing these old balls need is to fight gravity for 51 minutes on the shitter. Yeah. Isn't there a thing like medically, if you sit on the shitter too long, that like something happens with your assholes, like it bottoms out or something, or
what is it? What is your asshole dropping in the water or
like
something?
It's just like if you are just sitting there with letting everything hang, that like you can get like severe, like I don't even know what it's called, the medical term, but almost like a hemorrhoid, like because you're kind of sitting there and it's kind of everything's kind of gravity's doing its thing. And
I don't think gravity should. I mean, unless you're. I mean, well, we won't get into that. But
it's off air.
my leg will fall asleep.
Oh yeah, my leg has fallen asleep. My foot. I've had some scary like standing up after sitting on the toilet episodes, where I'll stand up and I'll be like, I could fall into the shower right now, like right now.
Yeah.
Because I can't feel my foot. Like I just can't feel it.
Yeah.
And I'm shaking it and I'm grabbing on the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michigan Mike says the medical term is hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids, yes, that's what it is. You get a major hemorrhoid, like a real situation. If you sit there too long, I think you can get hemorrhoids. Don't know that
Yes.
for any particular
However, Google does classify that you have to be on the toilet for extended periods of time when straining
Oh,
by
yeah.
increasing pressure on the veins in your rectum and anus, Matthew.
reason. Okay, so don't
So
strain.
don't get on there and push for 51 minutes.
Oh Jesus,
Give
that's
yourself some
deadly.
breaks.
I could die of a heart attack doing
Take it
that.
easy. Give yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Benders is Frandel also, and yes, I would be in on Frandel as well.
Yeah, Frandel. Yeah, Anton Frandel is the only other guy I could see being an important piece, first liner on a Stanley Cup team. Matthew Curtis says. So Frandel, Misa, who's at Schaefer,
McQueen,
McQueen, Roger
Martone.
McQueen scored today.
Martone,
Yeah.
Desnoyers.
Yeah. Jake
Yeah.
O'Brien, it's a local kid.
Jake O'Brien. I don't think he is local. I think that was
No?
made up. No,
You made that up?
I think that was made up. I don't think he is local. I think he was going to play possibly at like BU or something like that.
Okay.
Or BC, and I think I'm not sure what's going on with that. I think Misa was maybe supposed to come and play one of those schools too, but I don't know what's going on with that.
Okay. Basically, if you have bowel issues and you're constipated for a long period of time, you're going to get hemorrhoids, kind of like watching this season. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
O'Brien is from Toronto.
yeah.
In that case, thanks. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. Let's go back into some of these comments here. Beecher, Mitchell, Koepke, Wotherspoon, get them gone. Play Poitras, Farinacci, Lysell, Minton, etc. You'd have to believe that Minton's going to get a shot out of camp, I would assume. He has a little bit of experience, has 15 games in NHL, so I would think he would. The thing is going to be like Khustnidinov, like he's got to pass through waivers if he doesn't make the club. So, I mean, you run the risk of losing him in waivers. So I don't know what they do there. If, it's going to be a kind of a tough one. Do you run the risk of that, or do you have to play him for a while and really prove to yourself that he's not valuable enough and then roll the dice? So that I don't know what happens there with him.
Yeah, they might keep him around. I mean, he's got some speed. He's got some skill. He's playing with guys who can't play right now.
Well, that's true. I mean, it's
so
hard to gauge.
It's hard to gauge it. But yeah, they might keep him around. Maybe he'll be the extra forward. I mean, who knows? But he'll get an opportunity to be on the team next year. I think Fraser Minton will be on the team next year. I don't think that.
I think so. I think that's probably a guarantee, as close to a guarantee as you can think.
I think Poitras will be on the team next year.
And I think that's why I think Merkulov is gone, because I think Minton takes like a guy like that's opportunity.
Sure,
I mean, Minton's a better prospect. So
he is.
Merkulov
he's already a better 3-zone player than Merkulov is.
Yeah.
And he's bigger, so he can take some more of the physicality and so forth. So, yeah, I mean,
I'd let Beecher walk. I mean, they won't because he's a first rounder, but I'd let Beecher walk, and I'd give Nutty that chance in the fourth line, and I do that. I change that up and give him a chance there with Kastelic and somebody on the fourth line, and see.
I mean, that's what it should be.
That's what you should do, in my opinion.
Maybe it'll be Lauko and Khustnidinov and Kastelic, because Swayman's got to have a friend on the team.
I can't fucking do. Can I not do? I clamored for Lauko to not be on the team for the longest time, and then they traded him, and I was like, "Thank you, Jesus."
Yeah.
And then they bring him back because our goaltender is a fourth grader who can't make fucking friends. So now we have Lauko back again. Yeah. He is a dime a dozen. He doesn't mean a damn to my hockey team. See you later, dude. Like no more Jaukb Laukos. No more.
I'm with you. I wish they would do the same thing with Beecher, but you're convinced he's going to be on the.
I'm convinced they're going to give him one more year. Why would he be playing so fucking much?
I mean, you're right. He's going to be on the team, but he's not on my team. I'll tell you that.
No, he's on my team.
Voldemort and that guy. He's going to be. Who should not be named. It's going to be John Beecher to me.
Yeah, I would go in next year with Nutty, Duran and Kastelic on the fourth line, and I would get rid of
Great.
Beecher and Lauko and every other fucking retread. Like, see you later. Like, no more of that stuff. Patrick Brown, Patrick Brown and Lauko should drive each other to the fucking airport.
Yeah.
You know, Jesus. I mean, my God, like, Jesus Christ. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Will there be an annual fee for bear fuckers? Says Michigan Mike.
Bear fuckers?
The bear fuck. He's calling us the bear fuckers. Yeah, because the last post game.
An annual fee.
It might be an annual fee discount. Sure.
It's monthly. It will be monthly.
It'll be monthly. Yeah.
But that will be a separate kind of thing, and we'll lay out what that will entail. The post games, like this stuff here, will still be
free. Free as a bird.
Free as a bird.
Yeah.
And our regular episodes will be free, but I think there might be like the subscription people can get them a little bit sooner than everyone else, kind of a thing. And there'll be some other stuff in there that we'll include in, but you'll get it'll essentially be a bunch of extra content that the subscription people will get that everyone else can't get.
Yeah. Period. End of story.
So if you like us enough, subscribe. But if you don't like us that much, continue to watch this, and
Right.
There you go.
There you go. Lauko is a dime a dozen. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. He knows that that's why he fought a guy much bigger. Yeah, he's trying to fight for a job in the NHL. He's like 1 foot out the door. Like, there's not many more chances for guys like that. They do need some pricks and some not nice guys. Quote of the night so far: ML Carr the fuck out of this thing, says Bruins 1970. It's true though. It's true.
That's what I need. That's what I need.
Don't waste a good coach on this bag of donuts.
That's what I need from him next year.
I'm telling you, I think Sweeney is going to try to make this team a playoff team next year. I think in his distorted brain, he's thinking we were still right there until 15 games left.
That's all true, but doesn't he have to though, for his own sake?
Yes, that's why he's going to think of himself first.
Yes.
He's going to try to make this a playoff team next season. He is. And they're not going to come close to Gavin McKenna or Tommy McKenna or fucking Billy McKenna. None of them. There's not going to be a McKenna on this fucking hockey team in 2 years. No. So I'm telling you, he's going to try to do what he can to make this a playoff team next year. And he's going to also think in his head, well, Elias Lindholm will produce more. And, that was a one-off from Pavel Zacha. And, Casey Mittelstadt with a full season. Like, this is how he thinks. He's a fucking salesman. He's a fucking, Harvard, talk around shit guy. Like, this is what he's thinking.
He is thinking that 100%. But here's my problem with the whole thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Elias Lindholm has had one season, that he's had really good production. Mm-hmm. Now, is that the aberration, or is it the other fucking 7 years of 40 points that's the aberration? Don, Sweens, buddy, chum, pal.
I'll tell you what, two guys who never would have to, who played football in Harvard Stadium on Wednesday nights, touch football. That's the closest they got to Harvard.
Yeah,
is us two would say that. But Harvard logic would tell you, no, it's the other 7. I mean, it's the one. It's that onesie. We just got to get him that 1 year again. We got to just relive that magic of 80 points. Even though we don't have Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau in their prime, but we'll have Elias Lindholm play with 2 ham and eggers, and he'll get 75 points next year. Book it. Go to DraftKings. Put all your money on it. That's what he's thinking. I mean, he's thinking that, boy, this was just a one-off year. A lot of shit went down.
Yeah,
guys are going to reset. Yeah, guys are going to reset. But like I said, that's what has to happen.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen.
Of course
he
not.
does. That's the difference. That's the difference. He thinks it could happen. I don't.
Yeah. He's fucking delusional, and everyone else is living in reality. That's what happens. He's on fucking Saturn, and everyone else is here on Earth that realizes what's actually going to happen is he's going to have another 45-point year again. It'll probably be an improvement, over this year with his 37 points.
Mhm.
You know, he'll have 45 next year, and Sweens will do some fucking cartwheels because he you know, he's better than he was this year, you know. So if
He's going to be the third line center.
yeah, if he's better
year.
in 2 years, then you got, wow, you're really fucking cooking with gas now because you'll have a 50-point guy at 7.75. Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
I know. I'm telling you.
An awful contract then. It's an awful contract now. It'll be an awful contract next year and the year after and the year after and the year after that. Fucking terrible.
It's terrible all the way through. It is a complete anchor on the ankle of everybody. Like, it's the elephant in the room. It's just terrible. And everybody knows it. He's going to be the third line center next year. He's your third best center. Like, that's just awful. That's awful. And because the other two guys are like 50-point guys at best, but he's still worse than them. Like, it's just horrifically bad. It's just bad. Dan Maynard says, knowledge question, because I don't know the answer. Does Sweens get final say on most things Bruins, or the Jaukbs get much of a say? And from my knowledge and from knowledge of others, the Jaukbs don't do much of anything when it comes to hockey. They don't care about it. They don't watch it probably. They're hardly ever at the Garden, especially Jeremy. So they let their hockey people do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sweeney has, pretty much all the say with Neely, like all of it.
Yeah.
And it's part of the problem, but that's what we have.
I mean, I think that's the way ideally you would want ownership to behave. You would want them to spend to the cap and stay out of the way of the hockey people making the hockey decisions. The problem is the guys they have making the hockey decisions aren't the right guys. And they're not quick to make changes because they don't really care. Because they don't really give a shit that much.
Yeah.
So as long as the bottom line is good and people are in the building and they're selling, giant meatballs and beers and all that, they don't really care all that much.
Yeah. The thing that's going to hurt them is if they, in the off season, when they go to sell season tickets, they see a decreased number.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to start the ball rolling. They're going to say, Donnie, like you said, this is going to get better. And that's when Donnie gets his nuts all tight and tries to improve this team enough just to make the playoffs. And that's when it gets a little dicey for me. That's when it gets a little, we're just going to play, sign guys for now, play for now, try to just make it right now, put a Band-Aid on enough to get good enough to make the playoffs. And that's not going to help the franchise. It's not going to get you to where you need to be. So that's my biggest fear, is that the season ticket sales go down. And then the Jaukbs are like, hey, what's going on here? And then Donnie has to make a couple knee-jerk reactions just to get them good enough. So
I think you're right. I think that's probably what will happen. It shouldn't be what happens, because in the best interest of the team is to MLK the thing. Like, that's the best interest of the team, to really be bad next year and see if you can get into that Gavin McKenna sweepstakes. Like, that's what you want. I mean, that's what you ideally need. Because you need to be, like, you look at the Avalanche, like, they were awful for a while and they had a bunch of top picks and picked the right guys, and now they're really good. Toronto got Austin Matthews at the top of the draft, got Mitch Marner towards the top of the draft. Like, you need to hit on those picks and when you're bad, and you need to be bad for a while. To do that. Like, they need to be bad this year. They need to get an impact guy in the draft, and they need to be bad again next year and see if you can get McKenna. And if you can do that, you can turn it around pretty quick. If you can't, I mean, look at the Red Wings. They've been drafting at the top of the league for years now. And, they have some young talent. Dylan Larkin.
They missed the playoffs 8 years in a row.
Yeah, they haven't made the playoffs in 8 years.
8 years.
So that could be you. If you kind of are middling and trying but not trying, you're going to be stuck in the middle where you're not good enough to get a real impact guy. I mean, not bad enough to get a real impact guy, but not good enough to do anything in the playoffs or even make the playoffs. And
you're going to be right at the edge.
No man's land, and you're going to be there for a long time, because you either got to get really bad in order to get impact guys, or you got to make the playoffs with good players, and they don't have either one right now. So you're stuck.
So that's what you're going to be. The Detroit Red Wings is it's going to be even less than that because Detroit's getting higher picks and they're still not where they need to be. So yeah, it's hard to dig yourself back out of it. It is. Luckily they have a couple of star players that they can kind of lean on, but your goaltender has to be much better. He has to be one of your star players.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, I don't know how you can be super confident about it right now, but we'll see what happens. Christy DeLisi says, can't wait to see which Bruins sign with the Panthers in the offseason and then have career years. I mean, they've got Jesper Boquist, they've got AJ Greer and Brad Marchand, and
Didn't Thomas Nosek go there too?
Thomas Nosek is there. Yeah, they got 4 former Bruins in the lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know out of this group. I mean, I don't think anybody out of this group will be on the Panthers next year. I mean, they have Yoki Haru. They're going to sign Geekie. There's not a lot of the UFAs aren't. They're going to sign Lohrei. So those are 2 guys, 2 RFAs that they're going to sign. So probably helpful that Lohrei has a minus 34. Now you go to the negotiating table and you're like, Mason, you're going to get what the arbitration guy tells you you're going to get.
With the turnover that he had earlier this year and a couple of passes he's made, they could just show that tape in arbitration. I mean,
yeah, they can pants him
confidence for the rest of his life, but
they can pants him in arbitration.
Yeah.
I love how they talked to Sacco in the middle of the game, and Emily Kaplan says, Mason Lohrei makes that turnover. He's like, yeah, it's a bad pass, but we're going to kind of, what he does offensively is really great. So we're just going to have to kind of, coach him up on the defense, and this whole diplomatic, like he was almost a high school kid, like pumping up old Mason, like Jesus Christ. Tortorella would have been like, yeah, that fucking sucked. What a fucking shit ass pass that he's made over and over again. This is why you're a minus 34. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, stop passing with the other fucking team.
Jesus Christ, I mean, this is professional hockey. People lose jobs with shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's there needs to be some accountability. It can't be, Mace is working his way through things. Like at some point in time, it has to be, look, we can't play you if you're going to keep passing the puck to the other fucking team. We just can't.
Yeah.
We can't win games. We're passing the puck tape to tape to the other fucking team. We can't.
No, you can't do it. No, you can't do it. Especially if your goaltender's not going to make the save. Because
I mean, I don't care how well you are, well you do offensively. If you're minus 34, that means you're not helping enough offensively to
not that great
offset the mistakes.
You're not fucking Evan Bouchard offensively to make that happen. Like Evan Bouchard, has 70 something points every year or whatever, and he's not great defensively, but he's got 70 fucking points. You know what I mean? Like,
it's even Torrey Krug.
Yeah,
when he was there, the guy was fucking 5'6".
Yeah, but he wasn't great defensively at all.
He had 55 points or whatever,
and he was a well-played quarterback.
Yeah. So he sucked. He doesn't offer too because he was a midget. But I mean,
Lohrei doesn't offer enough more.
Yes,
to make up for minus 34. He just doesn't.
Have to, if you're going to put up 55 to 60 points and score 18 goals, then we could live with those kind of passes, but not with a guy who scores 35 points, puts up 35 points. Can't live with it.
Nope. Plus,
if you're minus 34 and you've got 35 points, I mean, that's fucking terrible, really.
Matt Grzelcyk was a plus 48. And we ripped the shit out of him all the time.
I wouldn't be surprised if they look.
They might bring Grzelcyk back. That's a sneaky little thing nobody's talking about.
I think they will.
I bet you $1 million if Hampus Lindholm is late to the start to the season and still a little shaky, that's such an easy little grab for them at a depth piece and someone who can fill in and play with McAvoy. I am 100% on that bandwagon. I'm gonna put it on X so that it's fucking time stamped, so that we said it, because it's going to happen. I guarantee it.
We said it either in an episode or a post game like a month ago or 3 weeks ago.
They're gonna bring Grzelcyk back. Yes, I guarantee it. They're gonna bring him back. Yoki Haru gone, Grzelcyk in.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. It's going to happen. He's going to play with McAvoy in the beginning of the year, and Lindholm's going to take extra time to get back. Yeah, book it. Put it in the book.
Yeah, I
Timestamp
could
this
really
fucking
see it.
thing.
I could really see it happening. Good.
Clip this video and put it all up there so everybody sees it.
Yeah.
Zach Hayes, Dan, I'm pretty sure with Sacco, Sweens has been naming the lineup and starting tender. In fact, he was doing it when Montgomery was here.
He was doing it with Montgomery.
Because Montgomery made that comment that said,
Mhm.
I don't know who's coming up and down from the fucking minors. Like,
Yeah.
he had he made it sound like he had no say in that.
Yeah, the coach, he made it sound like the coach had zero input on who was on
Yes.
the actual NHL roster, which is
Right.
madness.
So to me, we're blaming Montgomery for the first round in the 2 years ago when they brought Bergeron back too soon and Krejci back too soon. Guess who brought them back too soon?
Yeah,
Sweeney. So
Mhm.
now I feel bad because I'm thinking Montgomery did that and didn't listen to Bergeron or whatever. I bet you that Sweeney was like, Monty, this is Bergeron. This is Bergie. This is fucking God. He's got to play. And then had the 3 worst games of his life in a row.
Yeah.
And he lost the series.
Yeah. Dan Maid is asking, do you want them to split the goaltender net? The comment just updated, but there we go. Next year, like I said, 2/3 and 1/3. They probably won't, but still. What do you think? Do you want?
Honestly, I would even go like straight platoon rotation, whatever the fuck it is, for like the first month or so, and then sort of ease Swayman into 1/3, 2/3, 1/3 as you go along. Like, I'm really scared of him playing 60 games and then having, if you do make the playoffs, having to play even more than that and just wearing down. So I almost want to start the season of like kind of almost making him play every other ish, unless there's a little bit of a break of 3 or 4 days, and then ease him in.
Yeah, they'll have the Olympic break next year, but that's not what you mean. You just mean during.
I just mean like just give Korpi a few extra games early on in the season.
Yeah,
and then but Korpisalo, I mean, they're 28th in save percentage.
Yeah,
Korpisalo is Korpisalo. Like,
yeah, he's got better stats, but his not that good either.
Yeah,
Korpisalo and Swayman have identical save percentages at 893. Swayman has a 310 goals against average. Korpisalo is a 289 goals against average.
That's mean they're giving up more shots when Korpisalo's in.
Yes.
Right? Or less shots? I don't know how that works out.
I think they're giving up.
Who gives a fuck?
That means Swayman is giving up more goals on less shots.
More goals on less shots.
I would like to see them go 2/3, 1/3. You're paying Swayman, so I think he should. I mean, it's really 55 games versus 27 games instead of over 60. So 55 games, I think he can handle. Especially if he has a full training camp, he should be. His body right now, he said it himself.
He feels great.
Feels great. His mind feels great. Everything feels great, except the fact that he can't stop a fucking beach ball.
Honestly, doesn't that make you more concerned? Like, you're saying you feel great, your mind's great, everything's great, and you're playing like shit. So what's the problem? Like, to me, I'm more concerned. Like, at least say, yeah, I'm dealing with a couple of nagging things, and yeah, I just have to work on my confidence level and stuff like that. That would make me feel better in that he's not really 100%. Like, but when he says, "Oh God, I'm 110%," now I'm fucking more concerned. Because why aren't you playing better then?
Yeah, I mean, you should be. I mean, I don't know. Is that his way of saying, without throwing the team under the bus, I'm seeing too many high danger chances and shots and shit like that? I mean, is that his kind of subtle way?
He can go. You know what he can do? He can turn that sumbitch sideways.
And ladies and gentlemen, I did the math for you to be specific. Jeremy Swayman is seeing 3 more shots per game than Joonas Korpisalo on average.
Okay.
Where's my yeah, I don't give a shit, honestly.
No.
3 shots, if it was 12 more, I'd give it to you. 3 more shots a game, okay, great, save him. You're making 8.25, the other guy's making 3. Like, you should be seeing 3 more shots a fucking game and saving them all, dude. Like, give me, I mean Jesus, I'm telling you. And there's still some people out there who blame the defense. Like, Jesus, the defense. He needs to make like big time saves, like game momentum changing saves, because he's making $8.25 million a year. He needs to be a top 5 goalie. Sometimes your defense coughs up the puck. Sometimes they do multiple times a game, and the goaltender makes a brilliant save and doesn't allow the goal, and it's a big deal. But if the puck goes in the net every time there's a mistake made, that's not good enough.
No, I mean, just ask Cam Talbot tonight.
Yeah.
Makes a huge glove save with fucking 10 seconds left to basically win the game for his team. When was the last time you saw somebody say that about like a Swayman save? There's probably been some, and I'm in a mood where Swayman's pissing me off.
This year?
I'm not thinking of him, but you saw like the dive across save from Korpisalo where he made like that crazy save. Like, when was the last time somebody was like, what an unbelievable save by Swayman? Like, he stopped some breakaways and shit like that. But everybody does.
Across that, I can't remember one this year.
Where's a game where he stole a game for you, or where he was better than the other goalie, from beginning to end?
Well, isn't he like the worst in saves above expected?
Yeah,
or whatever
he was. He was at the bottom of the league for like the first 2 months of the season. So I don't know how far he could have climbed. But has he outplayed the other goalie? Like, even in the games where he's had shutouts, like it was like, oh, the Bruins gave up 19 shots and he had like 2 high danger saves or something like that. It was like a walk in the park. Like, if you were in that, you probably would have let in a couple, but him as a NHL goalie, makes the saves. Like, it wasn't anything, exciting, or, that he had to be tested, or he was taxed, or, made 45 saves or anything like that. It was like, they were easy shutouts. I mean, I know it's a shutout and that's great, but it doesn't seem like he's stealing them games. He seems like the other goalie is the better goalie like 95% of the time.
Do you think they're going to trade?
Connor,
go ahead. Connor, go ahead.
So I pulled up the stats for you in the goals saved above expected. Jeremy Swayman is 82nd out of 97 goaltenders that have played this season. Mm-hmm. And it takes any goaltenders, any amount of games played, at -8.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's just not good enough. So, no, we can make all the excuses we want in the world, but if he's a fucking market setter, then he needs to be better than that. Dan Maynard says that Paige says hello. Hi, Paige.
Hi, Paige.
I would say get to bed, but it's not midnight there. It's, what is it, like next Tuesday?
Paige, look out for the spiders.
Yeah, Jesus. Yes, Paige. Careful.
And the snakes.
Yeah, and the kangaroos. They jump all over you.
Yeah, they jump over your head. They jump and kick you.
Yeah, kick you right in the face. Yeah, so look, Swayman's got to be better, and that's the first thing. It's the absolute first thing. He's got to settle that thing down.
Bruins 1970.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Bruins 1970 says he doesn't think Swayman wants to be here. Do you think that is a legitimate concern at this point?
Well, I my instinct says I don't. Like, I think that might be
it's a little strong.
But if the players aren't really befriending him and they're irritated with him and he's not playing well, it can go the other way quickly. Like, it can go to a space where you're like, did I make a mistake? Like, I wonder if you really held him in like the corner and were like, look at you tell us honestly. I wonder if he like regrets how it all shook out. You know what I mean? I wonder if he regrets that. Like, I wonder if he says, you know what, maybe if I took 7.5 or 7, it might have been different. And I got to training camp earlier. And I wonder if he has any regrets for that. As far as the results and how the players feel and all of that. And we're not even sure how the players really feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be that would be a good question to ask him if someone was in the locker room. That would be a good question. Like, do you have any regrets about the way the season unfolded? About holding out and then how the season's gone since then. Do you have any regrets about that? I'd be interested to see if he would answer or if he would say, no, feel great, blah, blah, blah.
I bet he would say that thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he's like, geez, I lost these guys and I really feel bad about it. And now I'm not playing well. Like, I wonder if I mean, he's human. It has to be some sort of concern there for him because it hasn't gotten right. Like, it wasn't like he had a few bad and he hasn't been able to string together like a month where he's really good.
No.
And he's done that in the past. Like, so that's what's concerning to me is that it's pretty much happened the whole year. He's been under 900 and like the whole year and over 3 in goals against the whole year. Like, there was no streak. There was no run, nothing. So
yeah,
that's concerning to me. That means to me, something's up there. Now you'll see what happens. This next season is when they have the chance to get rid of him. If it's not a fit. So that's the ultimate. I don't think they'll trade him this offseason. I think they'll go into next year with him, the guy.
Oh yeah.
And then by the trade deadline next year, if they're bad and he's not fitting in with the team, and then I think it happens then.
The problem with that, like I've said before, though, is you're trading a guy who isn't playing well with an albatross of a contract.
Right.
You're probably going to have to eat money to get out from under that thing, and you're not going to get really anything in return. So it's it's a bad situation. The best thing you can hope for if you're a Bruins fan is for him to turn it around next year.
Yeah.
And be back to the guy who was, starting a goal against the Panthers last year in the playoffs. That's ideally what you want. That's what you need if you want the Bruins to be good again and him to kind of live up to this contract. That's what you need. You need him to turn it around.
You need to turn around. That's the first thing you need. Then you need Hampus Lindholm to be healthy. So those are two very important things to start.
And
McAvoy. So if then your goaltending and your defense is fine. So or pretty much fine. Just get another guy to replace Yogi Haru. And then you have to work on the offense. But those two things have to be tightened up. And those have to come through. If they don't, if Hampus Lindholm is not fully healthy and has some real concerns about his career, Jesus, that's a huge loss. Huge. So you got to get another top defenseman, and if your goaltender is still kind of sucking his way through the first month next year, like, God, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Welcome back, Matty Grzelcyk.
Jesus, I'm telling you, Grzelcyk's coming
back, Matty. Welcome back, Matty Grzelcyk.
He's gonna Grzelcyk one more year, and he'll. How old is Grzelcyk?
I don't know.
30. Is he only 30?
I don't know. I have no idea.
He was drafted in 14, right? I think it was 14 with Costa.
Rob Spector asking us a question that's similar to Swayman. How much do you guys regret starting this podcast with an 82 game season? I'll tell you, Rob, right about now, it's not great.
No, it's not. But I'll tell you what, though.
No. We love it. We really do.
I'll tell you this. The numbers haven't suffered. Like, everybody's shared in the misery. It's like a weird cult right now.
I'm not sure why you guys are still here.
Honestly. Yeah. It's a weird cult. It really is. I mean, I mean that in the nicest sense.
Nicest possible way. Yeah. I don't know why you guys are still here, but we love it. Cool. We love that you're still here, and we want it to continue.
Grzelcyk is 31. 2012 draft.
I was just looking at
31. This year he has 35 points at career high. 74 games, -8. He's a career plus 129. He is playing 20-27 per game, the highest of his career by far, really. I mean, he played 17-36 last year. He's playing 20-27 this year.
I think he plays consistently with Erik Karlsson, I think.
With Letang.
Oh, with
Karlsson,
Letang.
I believe, now plays with what's his fuck? Some other guy. I think he plays with Letang right now.
Okay.
That changed about a month or so ago, I think. But yeah, I'm telling you, I think they look into that.
Yes, Pittsburgh does stink. Bruins 1970.
They do stink. They do.
But
stink.
if he's only a -8 on a team with a minus whatever 70.
Oh my God, yeah. True.
He's probably playing pretty good.
True.
pretty good overall.
Yeah.
Better than minus 34.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to happen. I really do.
As much as and look, we didn't want to see them re-sign Grzelcyk. No, we thought they needed to get bigger on the back end. We thought he was a liability in the playoffs. And he tended to get banged up come playoff time because the physicality ramps up, and that's not really his game. But regular season Grzelcyk's pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
He's pretty good. He can move the puck. He can escape. He does dumb shit that drives me nuts. And if he comes back, it'll probably still drive me nuts. But he's a pretty good partner for McAvoy, and I think he could help them because he can pass the puck. That's one thing he can do. He's not going to pass the puck to the other team like Lohrei is right now.
No, Timmins is playing with Carlson, and Grzelcyk's playing with Letang.
Okay.
What did Grzelcyk sign? Oh, he signed for $275 1 year. So he's making $275. So you think they throw him 1 year $3 million or something? 1 year $2 million next year?
They could get him for 1 year, $3 and a quarter. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bring him home.
What's Yoki? How are you making right now? 3 and change.
Right. 3 and change. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 3.5, something like that.
3.5. So you go, 1.325 for Grizz.
Yeah.
There you go.
See what you're getting, Yoki Haru.
Yeah. Yoki Haru, you'd have to go more than that. You'd have to go higher.
You'd have to go multiple years too, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I say Grizz 1 year, 3.25. Yeah. That's fine. Playing with McAvoy.
Yeah.
And then when he's not if Lindholm's back or whatever, you're playing with Peeke or playing with Peeke. I don't know. Right shot D, there's an issue. Right?
It's McAvoy, and then you really need a Carlo replacement.
You need the Carlo replacement.
Because Peeke really should be your third pair.
You should.
So you need a top 4 right D. You need a Carlo replacement. So
you do.
That really should be where they're looking, because I think they'll probably figure on Lindholm coming back, and then you have Zadorov, Lohrei and Lindholm. So that should be a left side,
right?
Unless Lindholm has a setback, but they should be looking at a top 4 right D this offseason to kind of fill Carlo. And ideally, to me, you want a guy who can provide some physicality, but also score a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes. But I think the physicality part and the defensive, they need a penalty killing defenseman, because that's the real thing that's missing with Carlo is the penalty killing piece. So that's an issue. And as much as people get on Carlo, and he wasn't very good this year, he's a really good penalty killer. And he's big and he's long, good stick, all that. He's disruptive, and they need somebody like that. Defenseman, I don't even know who these are, right shots or left shots or whatever, but Ryan Lindgren is a guy who's going to be hitting the market. Dobbs is going to make money.
He's making decent money though. Now though,
Lindgren's making 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him 5 and change because he doesn't provide anything offensively either, I don't think.
No, Lindgren is not an offensive kind of guy. But then you get the guys like Fabro and Haig, and I don't even know who's right shot. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna pay upwards of $4 or $5 million, I think you need offensive. You need some point production too. You can't just get, if you like Carlo, you paid him 4.1, which is fine, but you would like more offensive production than 8 points a year or whatever he was giving you. If you're gonna pay $5 million a year, like a guy like Zadorov, 17 is not enough. No. You gotta be better than that, or like Zadorov's giving you some, added physicality. You got to be able to provide something else to make it valuable to sign a guy for that kind of money.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're very right. And Rob Spector says, so we are paying Grizzly $1.5 million more than we would have if we kept him. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Looks that way.
I mean, look, I don't know if I really agree with it, but I just feel like it's a Bruins thing they would do just for Lindholm security. Like if Lindholm comes back healthy, I don't think they will. But if Lindholm doesn't, and he's a cheap kind of option, you get Lindholm on LTIR, then you kind of can.
That might be a telltale sign.
Right.
Because, in free agency, in the offseason, if you see them go out and get, a left shot D, like a Grizzly or somebody like that, that's not a guy.
Yeah.
And then they feel like Hampus Lindholm may be out longer than everybody's letting on.
Yeah, not a good sign. And then one last thing, Connor says, dark horse spot for Morgan Geekie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay has Connor Geekie.
They do
on the squad. Yep. Connor Geekie on the squad.
He's an RFA, so they would have to offer sheet him.
Yeah. But I'll tell you,
the Bruins would have to qualify him first.
They will.
Right. I think they're gonna sign him. I mean, when Sweeney comes out, you're right. When Sweeney comes out and says that, they're gonna sign him.
When Sweeney's in the media says that a guy is gonna, they'll be able to reach a deal. They do reach a deal.
They do every time. Yeah. So they're gonna give him multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They're gonna give him 3 times 4 or something like that.
Yeah. Higher.
3
probably.
times 4.5. Yeah. They're going to give him 3 times. Yeah, whatever the market is for a 27 goal scorer. If he scores 30 on the wing, 4.5.
What was the stat from Ty Anderson about the Bruins free agents?
Oh, Michael Ryder was the last unrestricted free agent that they signed that scored
27
goals.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. With his 27th goal of the season, Morgan Geekie is tied 2008-09 Michael Ryder for the second most single season goals by a Bruins unrestricted free agent since 2005.
And who was 5? Garen? Who was 5?
No, I don't know if it was. Yeah, I think 05 was Garen, but he's saying second most. So I think the most was Jerome McGinley, whatever year that was. He had 30.
Well, what about the 2005 thing?
I don't know.
Because you said it's the second most, and that's the most since 05.
Since 05. Yeah, I think he just went back to 05.
Went back to 05. Okay. Iginla had more than that?
Iginla had 30.
At 30. Yeah, and that was what, 13? He was on the 12 team? He was on the team before Jágr. Jágr was in 13, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think it was like 2012 or somewhere in there that Iginla, I can't remember. But yeah, Iginla was a really good signing for them. And so was Michael Ryder. I mean, he was a really unsung hero on that.
He was on the 13-14 team. He had 30 goals, 31 assists, 61 points. He was plus 34.
Wow.
And 78.
Iginla was?
Yeah.
Iginla was. Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
But I think Jágr was the year before. I think he was on the team that lost to the Blackhawks. So Iginla replaced Jágr, I believe. I can't remember. Anyway, 3 times 4 for 30 points is the best re-sign the Bruins has in 6 years. Yeah. I mean, he does deserve it. Obviously, I mean, he's trended up the last couple of years. Yeah, 18, and then now could have 30. Has showed chemistry with Pastrnak. I'm just really concerned about a guy who, is he more 30 or is he more 18?
Yeah, I mean that's
the same thing as Elias Lindholm. Like, are you going to sign this guy to multiple years and then he scores 12 goals next year?
Well,
and then you're like, fuck.
The thing that I'll say about him is that he's still 25 or 26.
Yeah.
And
Still young.
since he's gotten more opportunity, his goals have gone this way. So he had 12, then he had 17. Now he has 27. So maybe he's more coming into his own than having 82 and then going 40, 40, 40, 40, 44. And by the way, you are right. Jaromir Jagr was on the 12-13 Bruins. Played 11 games, 9 points, plus 3. So there you go.
Yeah. And was, pretty good in that playoff too. That playoff run. Didn't score a lot of goals, but he created a lot of possession and made a lot of things happen for them.
Sure.
But they've had that with, Recchi and Iginla and Jagr, and those teams are able to get veteran guys at the end, Hall of Fame caliber guys at the end.
Yeah.
That could help. Billy Guerin, they've had success with that thing.
Sure.
So, and Tyler Olsen says he is trending upward, but the same thing that did happen with Swayman. Hard to tell these days, and that's the thing. So, all right. So Bruins lose it tonight, 2-1. They play Ovi on Tuesday night. Ovechkin plays tomorrow against the Sabres. He's 5 goals away from breaking the record. Now, Odysseys said today when I put a comment in here that said that I'd like Ovi to get a hat trick tomorrow so that he's within range in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I'd like historic things to happen in Boston.
They do. They all the time do.
They do. Yeah. I'm not a big Ovechkin guy, but can it happen in Boston? That'd be cool. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to have.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you'd be in the record books as being
the team that gave up the fucking record breaker.
Yeah. I mean, but they're like Mario Lemieux's first goal as a professional.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby, I think. I mean, I don't know. Matt Boldy scored his first goal.
Yeah.
Hometown.
Seems to happen.
It always seems to happen. Always. Connor Bedard's first goal against the Bruins.
That's the Bruins. Yeah.
Yeah. So shit like that happens against the Bruins. So I could see Ovi doing it against the Bruins. He might score fucking 5 against us if he doesn't get any against Buffalo.
He might.
And then Thursday we are on the road again. Bruins Benders on the road, heading up to Montreal to watch that thing. That should be interesting.
We should just be raucous assholes. We should just be loud and obnoxious, and by grace of God, they fucking score a couple goals and win. We should just jump all over each other like we won the Stanley Cup in that fucking barn.
Yeah, I mean they'll be swearing at us in French. We might get beaten up though. Is the problem?
Yeah, you know what?
We're not exactly tough.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. And
we do have a friend going with us who is 6'6" though, so that helps.
I guess that helps. Yeah, I guess that helps. He'll be the bodyguard.
Yeah,
Fire Sweeney chant. We'll start the Fire Sweeney chant there.
Yeah. How do you say that in French?
Fire Sweeney. I don't know.
What's fire in French? It's got to be like. I don't know.
Fire. What is fire? Fire in French. Where's Connor? Is he still
Fuego?
awake?
That's Spanish, right? Fuego.
Fuego is Spanish. Fire in French.
Fuego.
The French feu. Feu. F-E-U. Or pompiers.
Somebody says to boo the anthem.
Boo the anthem.
Yeah. You guys come with us. Anybody that's going to be in the Montreal area for Thursday through the weekend, give us a shout.
Hit us up.
Yeah, we'll meet somewhere for beers.
Yeah, absolutely. Get to Montreal.
Or bourbons or sips or, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, whatever. We'll chat with the Benders fam.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, let's do it again Tuesday night. Hey, check out the new episode. It's on YouTube. And great night tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us every night. This is making the end of the season a little more bearable. So thanks, everybody. And 20% off with code SorryJohn. Get a Rock Sauce if you haven't already, or get some other Benders merch. See you Tuesday. Go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.